Hey, you clicked the cinder block. Welcome. This is our new channel, the GuestTag. I'm Edge with a J.
I'm Ornkal.
Jago and Craag here.
And thank you for joining us on our new channel. We hope that this will be a much more streamlined experience and a little cleaner than what we were doing in the last year, which was just, hey, let's make a video and upload it to YouTube, and it's games. Yay. No, but it's going to be a consistent game throughout until we're done playing it. Or until we're done playing it for that time being. I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about the new console generation, the 8th generation. We've all received our own new consoles, and we're going to give our thoughts and opinions of them. So first up is the Wii U. This came out last year. In that sense, you'd think it'd have a bit of a leg up on the other consoles. And in some cases it does. No, you're smiling at me, but look, there's good software for this thing.
Actually, I have to agree with you there.
Yeah.
It's definitely got way more games.
Did you hear what I just said?
I don't believe what I heard. You're saying that. I know you, and I almost don't believe you're saying that.
No, I have to agree with you. There's actually a lot of good games, and I've heard a lot of good things about the games.
Sweet. Anyway.
I think, you weren't expecting that.
No, I wasn't.
I think I just stunned Edge a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
I'm not a big Nintendo fan, but I have to say, the things I've been hearing about Nintendo things, like specifically Wii U games, is that they're actually really, really good. Albeit a little repetitive and kind of beating a dead horse, but they're still good.
Well, that depends on... That depends a little bit on which ones you play. Anyway, the bundle I got was the 32GB deluxe bundle for $300. It comes with new Super Mario Bros. U and new Super Luigi U. And I think that this should have been the pack-in game to begin with. It used to be Nintendo Land. I played Nintendo Land. It is a tech demo, and it's not fun. Now, you might be thinking, well, wait, Wii Sports is just a tech demo. Yeah, but Wii Sports is a full game. It's fun to play. I booted up Wii Tennis the other day with my brothers, and we played it, and it was a blast. It's a lot of fun to play. Whereas Nintendo Land is just a bunch of tiny little mini games that just, they're okay. They show off what it can do, but it's just not a good game. New Super Mario Bros. U. The thing about the new Super Mario Bros. Series is that, yeah, it's a big throwback to Super Mario Bros. 3 and the classic Nintendo games, and it gets stale. But even if it gets stale, it's still very good. It's the gold standard for side-scrolling platforming. It's the kind of game that you should introduce to kids. Like, if you want to bring people into playing video games, in a similar way to how you were brought in, then the Wii U is the way to go. It's a good game. It's one of the few games that I've actually completed. And it's not short either. It's a full game. And I still haven't played New Super Luigi U. It's basically hard mode, and not just regular hard, no. The old-fashioned Nintendo hard. Like Castlevania hard. This game is like a Kaizo Mario hack. It's so crazy tough. In terms of pack-in, you're getting amazing value. Now, for the console itself, it's... There's a lot of things to like about it. Hang on. There's lots to like about it.
The fact that you sighed before saying anything, though, says a lot about a console.
Well, here's the thing. Because of the time that it came out, it's hard to recommend. But it's doubly hard to recommend the other consoles, but we'll get to that in a bit. Everything about the Wii U works. If you've heard anything about PS4 and Xbox One, you've heard some features are not available at launch. They were promised, they were talked about, but they're not there. Since the launch of the Wii U, everything's been there, everything's worked. Everything that comes with the Wii U works exactly as it should. And one feature I'd like to highlight is the web browser. It's Opera-based, but it's the most competent web browsing experience ever used on a console. Now, really, I've got my laptop right in front of me. We're using it to record. So why would you need it? Well, sometimes you don't have your laptop. For about a month, I didn't have a working computer. And my Wii U, it works really fast. It was actually working faster than my laptop. I couldn't watch anything on Blip or anything like that, but YouTube worked fine. I could watch the videos in 720p on my television, and it was really fast. Like, Netflix is on there, it works. For America, there's Amazon Instant Video and Hulu Plus, those all work from everything I've heard, although I can't really give an honest opinion because we're in Canada and we don't have those. Come on, guys, get on that. The Virtual Console is... Well, the Wii U eShop is a little sparse. They've been adding more stuff over the year, but they still don't have N64 games. All they have is NES and SNES. They do have original Wii U eShop games and demos, and you can download full games. Like, you can download the latest Mario, you can download Rayman Legends, you can download Assassin's Creed 3 and Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and I think Ghost is on there now. Pretty much day one digital for all the major releases.
Why?
Because everyone else is doing it.
Okay, but you've got 32 gigabytes of space on that thing.
One thing. That thing can be... The Wii U has 4 USB ports that you can expand with any size hard drive you want.
But here's the thing. Why not just give you a bigger hard drive in the first place?
Because then the price would go up. And for what they give you, I haven't even used up most of it, and I've downloaded a bunch of games.
What games, though? You're not getting Assassin's Creed. You're not getting
you're right.
Black Ops 2. You're not
You're
getting
right.
Ghost.
I haven't
Those are
downloaded...
going to be huge in comparison.
A few gigabytes, yeah. Mostly I've been downloading Virtual Console games. Like, I got F-Zero, which is still one of the best racers I've ever played, even for an SNES game. And Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, all that stuff. Earthbound is on there. If you've never played Earthbound, here's your chance. It's one of the best RPGs I've ever played. It's one of the best games I've ever played. It's got 4 USB slots. You can put any size external hard drive. Or, I don't know if it works with, like, a proper external hard drive, but you can put USB... It does?
Yep.
Cool. I haven't tested that. I could, though. But USBs, any size USB you want to plug into there, that can become your hard drive, and it's as easy as just accessing another menu. As far as I know, you can access the information right off the USB instead of having to drag it over, which is a great feature they brought over from the Wii, where you could just go into an SD card menu and load everything off the SD card.
Same process, both flash memory.
Yeah. And speaking of the Wii, most of the features of the Wii are forwards compatible with the Wii U. For the most part, the Wii U only has one controller that can only be used on the Wii U, and that's the gamepad. There's also a Pro Controller, but that's sold separately. The gamepad is great. It works. The screen has 480p. There's very little lag between, although if you turn the volume up on the screen, you will notice something. Most games support off-screen play, so I used to live with my younger brothers, and I know that if I were in that situation still, I would be letting one of them play, like, I don't know, Lost Planet, and I would be playing Super Mario 3D World, and it would be no problem. I could plug my headphones in and just have a blast, because the experience is not lesser for switching to small screen mode. It just works, and that's all I can say about it, is that it works exactly like it should. And that's great. And when you're playing multiplayer, it uses Wii remotes from the old console. They work completely forwards compatible with the new tech. There's no software update needed. It's just, oh yeah, your old Wii remotes and nunchucks, yeah, just sync them to the new console and you're ready to go. It's great. It's a really good idea. Not only that, but you can run the Wii browser, or the Wii menu on the Wii U, and play your old Wii games in 1080p. It's upscaled 1080p, so, it's not going to look as good as Ghosts, but it's still amazing to watch.
On a side note, Ghosts was upscaled 720p.
That's on Xbox One, though.
Yeah.
And 360, and probably PS3.
Probably. Or maybe it just runs a native 720 on those consoles because they're not pushing for the 1080 standard.
They're not.
The point is, though, that Wii games, you guys know Wii games, right? They max out at 480p, and you can make that look good. Super Mario Galaxy is a gorgeous game, but it's only 480p, and that's not even technically HD.
So who would you recommend this console to?
I would recommend the Wii U to kids, to families, really. This would have solved a lot of problems when I was growing up. Like, I want to play a game, I want to play a game, I want to play a game. All right, you do this, you do this, you do this. And you can have the console experience while somebody else is having a different console experience. It's, for that reason, it's great. And if you want to get your little kids into gaming, it's got a very heavily moderated forum called the Miiverse that people can interact in, and it's completely safe for kids if you want to get them used to
The internet.
the internet, like, and forums in general. Like, I think if this had been around to train kids, there might have been a few less problems nowadays. That's a completely different issue, though. For hardcore gamers, it's a little hard to recommend unless you're a hardcore gamer who is also a parent. But also, Nintendo fans are gonna love it. Nintendo fans like myself, I'm getting so much playtime out of the new Nintendo titles, and I'm looking forward to the new ones that are coming out. And in that regard, it's completely recommendable. But to regular core and hardcore gamers, it's a little bit tough.
A little dry.
It's
for
a
them.
little dry. Everything that's already on it is on 360 and PS3, and in some cases PS4 and 1.
Like Assassin's Creed.
Like
for
Assassin's
example.
Creed 4.
No
And 3.
offense to this game, but if you're saying you can download onto this, it's going to be incredibly tiny. In comparison, right?
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed on the Xbox Marketplace download is over 26 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Or close to 26, I think.
It might even be that same size. I don't know. I haven't had to check because I don't really download games. Or at least new games,
Yeah.
really.
I go for solid copies myself, but you know what I mean. Like the quality differences.
Yeah, it'll be noticeable, but it's still running in 1080p, so it's still gonna look pretty good. I don't know about the frame rate, but
On a completely side note, by the way, Assassin's Creed 4 on the 360 is really, really, really beautiful, and I wish I had it on a next-gen console to see how much more
they're still
beautiful it would
offering
be.
that $10 upgrade, man. Just saying.
Yeah. But,
They're not asking you to give them the box.
yeah, but
They just need the case. You can keep the steelbook.
I'll think about it. Anyway,
Nah. One minor note. Actually, not minor note. This is a pretty big deal to me, and it's kind of weird. It only supports, for surround sound, linear pulse code modulating, LPCM, which means if you have an out-of-the-box home theater system, you can only run it in 2-channel. Which is weird because for such a casual machine, and it's not a bad thing. Casual's not a bad thing. Casual's fine. It's not a dirty word. I swear. Did you just stab yourself with a hidden blade?
a little bit.
Way to go. But it's weird because it's the highest quality sound you can get on the lowest end console that's marketed mostly for kids. Kind of weird. But yeah, if you've got a high end surround sound system, you've got some stellar 5.1 going out. I'd tell you what.
They probably just didn't want to pay for the licensing from the.
No, that's exactly it. They didn't want to pay for the Dolby license.
DTS.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a shame. Also, it doesn't play GameCube games. Come on, guys.
That's a double backwards compatibility, though. Come on.
I don't care.
Hey,
Can't
look at
play
the
GameCube games.
PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 1. Though, to be fair, the PlayStation 3 is only compatible with PlayStation 1 because of failed backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 2.
So, your thoughts on the Wii U?
Ornkal, go first.
Biggest complaint I have, and it's mostly about your salesman-like rendition of how it all just works. Like, you sound like you're talking about Apple products or something. Is that in the beginning it didn't work. In the beginning it had a lot of problems like with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are having now.
Yes, it did.
It even had its
I don't
own
remember
giant
hearing
day
it.
one update that nobody could download because everybody was trying to download it all at once.
But that's
by
the
giant-
same.
That
That's
was-
the
but
same
that
with
was-
everyone.
But that was for the 8 GB model,
Yes.
which they're not marketing anymore.
What are you
Oh,
talking
wait,
about?
no, never
Aren't
mind.
marketing
Oh,
anymore.
that's
I saw
right, they
some
are.
up at the mall today.
No, wait, I'm wrong. They are doing that. It's a Skylanders bundle.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, you.
If you're done.
Yeah, that was pretty much the only complaint I had, really. I haven't touched one much other than to play Super Mario 3D World, which I thought was pretty fun. And, my favorite part about that game is that what's displayed on the gamepad is the same as what's displayed on the TV.
Lower resolution, but yeah, pretty much.
So what we were doing is we were sort of passing around the controllers so everybody could try out the different controllers for it. And I ended up with the gamepad. And
I like
about
Game
halfway through
God.
the level, I ended up basically facing away from the TV and still having, because this way we were seated, we didn't have enough room for everybody to see the TV well.
yeah.
So I'm sitting there, stuck off to the side, not enough space to actually see the TV, and still enjoying the game plenty, just on the gamepad instead of on the TV. And the gamepad actually had the best controls for the game out of all of them.
I agree. Jacob?
Honestly, I think it's. Here's my problem right now, and it's not just with the Wii U. It's with this whole generation already. There's no change.
No.
The
not really.
consoles are exactly the same as last gen.
Actually, that's a good point.
You've got the family filler spot that's mostly marketed towards younger children, mostly, honestly, right?
Bayonetta 2 2014.
But you know what I mean. It's mostly marketed towards younger children, and I agree with you there completely. If you have young children in your family and you want to introduce them to gaming, go with the Wii U. It is your best option. It is the most kid-friendly console you have for this gen.
Not just kid-friendly, family-friendly.
Family-friendly.
Because there's something there
in
that
general.
everybody can play.
Exactly, but I kind of market this thing towards people with younger kids.
Yeah.
If they've got a 12-year-old or an 11-year-old, I would say something a little bit different, and then we'll get to that later. But definitely, like, this is the kid-friendly console, the ultimate kid-friendly console out of this gen. Again, speaking
Plus nostalgia-friendly.
very.
I also thought of another problem. One thing that a lot of people who aren't big into the game consoles, but they're buying it for somebody else, they get really confused when buying the Wii U.
How?
Who the
Oh,
hell-
yeah.
Who the hell takes a console from the previous generation and adds a letter to the end of it? I can understand a number because that's
Have
a
you ever
yeah.
had
number.
anyone call it the Wii University? I have.
What?
I have
haven't,
people call it the Wii University all the time.
but I
Nintendo,
had
get on that. That's a game right there.
No.
but I've had somebody come in looking for the gamepad itself because they
Yeah,
thought the
that
gamepad
happens all
itself
the time.
was the Wii U,
Yeah.
and they thought that the gamepad connected to a Wii as an accessory.
Yeah.
They didn't think it was a new console. They thought that the gamepad was the only thing.
Yeah, then you tell them the
That's-
price, and they're like, "What?
That's Nintendo.
$300 for this?
And
No,
then-
no, no! It's a whole new thing." Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's more Nintendo's fault than anything else.
Yeah, that's
because they're
that's
bad.
a marketing
They're
issue.
they're bad at
And
their job.
Here's another thing. This is Nintendo in general. They need to stop sticking their head in the sand.
Pardon?
They are ignoring everything, and that's a bad thing.
Ignoring how?
Oh, look. PS4 and Xbox One are doing their own thing, competing. We're gonna sit over here in the corner and play with our own thing.
But
You
that's
mean-
been Nintendo forever. That's gone back to way the hell back when Sega Genesis was coming out. Sega comes out, it's like blast processing. Sega does with Nintendo. And Nintendo's like, all right, we're just gonna go with our guts and do this
yeah,
now.
but look at sales.
Super Nintendo outsold
No,
Genesis,
no, no,
didn't
no,
it?
no. These sales.
Oh, these sales. Well, this is the only time it's come back to bite. Oh, GameCube.
To be fair,
And this is a pinnacle moment for consoles.
Yeah.
This generation.
Yeah. I feel like the hype this time is built a lot more than with the previous one.
Exactly. So
Could just be that now we're older and
look,
we're paying attention to it.
Okay. But they PS4 and Xbox One have outsold that thing, and it's been out
Yeah.
for 2 years.
1 year.
Okay, year and a half, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean, right?
Yep.
It's got a leg up on them, and they've sold way more than the Wii U.
you can attribute that slightly to the marketing issues with it, though, because a lot of people who are buying consoles for other people still don't know what it is. And-
That's part of it, but a lot of people that I've talked to, they don't see a point in upgrading from a Wii to a Wii U right now.
Well, they're looking at
Which-
it as an upgrade, whereas it's more of a it's a new console.
thing.
Yeah. See, that's the problem, though, right? They haven't defined it enough for people
Yeah.
to see it as its own thing. They even called it the same thing,
Yeah.
which is a problem.
Well, it ties into their idea. Like
It's
it
not
ties
like-
into the
look,
design of the console,
they're-
but at the same time,
because
it's stupid.
It's only because it's Nintendo that I have a problem. Like, PlayStation has been calling themselves PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Xbox has just changed it from Xbox original to Xbox 360 to the Xbox One.
Well, they're marketing it as sequels
Right.
as opposed to
Yes,
Upgrades.
they're see, but the problem is you had the Nintendo, Super Nintendo. What do we have after that?
64.
N64,
GameCube,
GameCube,
Wii,
and now you have the
Wii
Wii
U.
U, which
Sounds like an expansion
it
pack.
just sounds like an expansion.
Well,
pack.
Super Nintendo does too. I'm sure there were problems like that back
Yeah,
in the day.
but that was early on. You think they learned from it when they went from Super Nintendo to N64, GameCube, Wii, right?
I think it's time. Oh, Craig, any thoughts? Wii U?
Oh yeah, Craig's here, by
Craig's
the way.
here too.
He's sort of sleeping in a chair.
I'm actually working on a Rubik's Cube.
Well, that's where that went.
Wildly unsuccessfully. Anyways, what was the question?
Thoughts
What
on
do
the
you
Wii U?
think about the Wii U?
I have not played it at all, so I can't really give much of an informed opinion. But I do agree that it's very confusing for people. I spent the first probably month and a half thinking that it was a controller, not a actual console. That it was a controller with a software patch that enabled
Yeah.
new features.
That said, if they'd done
So-
that, That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
PS4.
Which,
Oh, sorry.
honestly, I kind of would have understood more because it doesn't seem like they actually added much to the Wii when they made it. Sort of. Although I sort of disagree with your argument about the Xbox having a better naming system. Their naming
No,
system
No,
is
it doesn't have a
equally
better naming
good,
system.
too.
no. I don't mean that it has a better naming
Like-
system. I mean it's a sequel system, like PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. I understand that.
Well, I think this is
the
more of a
PlayStation
prequel
is the
system.
only one that has a really good sequel-y naming system, though.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
On that
PlayStation
note.
4, as we were going to say. Ornkal, you've got...
Yes, so
You're the authority on this one.
I have the PlayStation 4.
I have the monolith.
Yeah. And
no, I do.
Bull. Yours is the smallest of the three.
it's the most monolith shaped.
Pocket monolith.
This is irrelevant. Anyways, the PlayStation 4, I got one on launch day and have been enjoying it mostly since then. I say mostly because it's a great console, and I haven't had mine screw up on me at all yet.
You are the 99%.
Yeah, I am the 99%. Shut up. Anyways, the biggest complaint about the PlayStation 4 right now, we're starting with complaints, then we're going on to not complaints, is I've got nothing to play on it.
Yep.
I've beat Contrast. I'm 5 levels into Resogun. I think I'm done with it for now. I've bought Knack and played all the way through it and hated most of it because it was really boring and repetitive and the plot sucked. And then I'm playing Marvel Lego Superheroes, which is quite a bit of fun.
Unfortunately not...
Not
it's-
4-player?
No. Well, that too, but it's not unique. It's not...
Yeah, it's not a console exclusive, so
Thank you, that's
it doesn't really count towards the PlayStation itself. But all the other PlayStation games, the library is pretty limited because if I'm going to be looking for exclusives, I've got nothing that appeals to me on that console right now that I haven't already beaten. And that was me 2 weeks in, and now it's just about sitting there collecting dust. And every once in a while, I turn it on to play as Spider-Man and swing around the city. Other than the lack of games, though, it's a really solid console. The games that are on it look nice. They handle really well. The console, the new menu, is basically like somebody took out all the useless stuff from the crossbar menu of the PlayStation 3. And I really like it. The web browsing feature, like the Wii U, works quite well. So, no complaints with it at all. Off the top of my head, that's really all there is to the console. It's almost exactly the same experience as the PlayStation 3, just faster and smoother.
Yeah, see, that's the problem
It
I'm having
really,
right now.
it really is. A big complaint about it is there's not anything really different. It looks better. It plays smoother. It, functions faster. The store, that was loud. The store doesn't lag, which was a big complaint about the last update to the PlayStation Store on the PlayStation 3. Made it run slow all the time.
I'm glad to hear that, by the way. That's...
The store is super smooth, which actually surprised me the first time I booted it up to check free games and stuff. Music Unlimited is really fun because you can use it to play music in the background. Completely replacing the game music from whatever game you're playing. Though I only went with a 30 days free.
Yeah, they get you there, don't they?
Yeah. One really nice feature about the console, the updated controller. I think it's on the top of the list for my favorite controllers now. After using it a bunch, it's really comfortable in the hands. It's only improvements over the PlayStation 3 controller. You don't really lose anything except start and select become options and share, and I haven't really touched the share button much. And the touchpad, which I actually haven't gotten to use yet in any games. So I'm assuming it'll work great once I get to use it, but I haven't used it yet. And the biggest feature of it that I find really nice on the controller has an audio jack on the bottom of it. And a lot like the Wii U's gamepad, you can plug in headphones and play all the game audio straight through the controller. And that is really convenient, especially if you live with anybody else and they don't want to hear the big loud crashing sounds of you knocking down a giant Lego building in the middle of the night.
So who would you recommend the PS4 to?
With the current selection of games, I'd recommend the PlayStation 4 to somebody or their parent between the age of, 12 to 18. Because it's got some of those, kid-friendly, fun games, like the Knack and the Lego Marvel, but then it's also got the power to play things like, Call of Duty Ghosts and Killzone and, stuff like that. All in the high end, really high resolution, looking even better than the Xbox One, because they put all their power into making this console be a game machine.
And that is where I think PlayStation 4 has a stronger... It's just a little stronger there.
Yeah, but...
I think PS4 is definitely a hardcore gamer console.
Yes. Now, see, if I was recommending this console, though, I'd have to ask first whether they want to sit down and play a long, good gaming session, or if they're just looking for something that's, short and sweet. Because if you want a good, long, hard gaming session, then the PlayStation 4 is great. But if you're looking for something where you can only put an hour or two into it, then you might want to look elsewhere. Because this game console, it has very limited selection of games at the moment, and what games it does have are all the ones where you want to sit down and play it for quite a long time. So, I would recommend it to the hardcore gamers in the middle age range. If you're an adult, I think you can sort of pick for yourself.
Middle age is in, like, middle youth age?
Youth, yes.
Okay.
So, your guys' thoughts on the consoles?
Well...
Or this console?
Edge, what do you think?
Your thoughts on the PlayStation 4?
Ooh, another sigh. Ooh.
Honestly, I don't have any means of... Oops, I'm sitting on the chips.
Any means of, oops, I'm sitting on the chips. You heard it here, folks. Anyway.
PS4, made of chips. Delicious.
Silicone
that's
chips.
Not that wrong, so... Anyway, keep going.
I don't like it. I don't like the PS4. I love the controller. That controller's oh yeah, I know right now.
Now you're shocking me.
Yeah.
What?
I thought you would have liked the...
I'm sure I'll like it later. As it stands, there's not much to play on it that I can't otherwise play on another console. There's not enough there for me to make that $500 investment. Right, $400 investment.
Wrong console.
Wrong console.
But yeah.
No, but my comment still stands.
I
Somewhat edited, though.
I kind of agree with you there. I'm almost regretting buying one because, my other game consoles, I got so much to play on them. But I still would rather have it sooner than later. Because now I've got the console, and when a game I really want to play comes out, I won't have to go and drop all the money all at once.
Yeah, I guess I'll make a slight redaction. I don't think the PS4 is completely unrecommendable. I just think it's going to build up a lot of dust before it gets a lot of use.
You gotta wait a year.
Yeah, you gotta
wait till next year. You need to wait till the fall when Destiny hits.
Oh,
when
yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online is coming.
Oh,
You've got... What else?
Even next fall in Japan, they're getting Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, and
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh yeah,
Kingdom Hearts
3 is a long way off.
It's not.
That said, Final Fantasy 15 is next spring in Japan.
And also, there's going to be a huge amount of titles that are going to be released before the end of next year that haven't even been announced yet.
There's good stuff coming for the PS4,
but it's all down the pipeline.
It's all down the pipeline. Whereas,
Minecraft is also coming out for it pretty soon.
Oh, whatever. Minecraft's on everything. Jago?
So, I kind of have to agree with both of you, even in a weird way. Yes, I would go with the same route as... Shoot. Ornkal. Sorry. But, yeah, I would recommend the PS4 to anyone who is more of a hardcore gamer, more of those... Because how I see it is those are the single player... Looking down the pipeline, it's the single player experiences coming to PS4 more. Like Final Fantasy, it's going to be better on the PS4. It's coming to both, but it's going to be better on the PS4.
Oh, even Metal Gear Solid 5 is next March.
Yeah.
That's still considered launch window, by the way.
Yes.
Anyway, like I said, hardcore gamers definitely go for the PS4, especially if you're in that age group, like youth. 18, 25. Well,
yeah.
16 to 25, I guess. You gotta widen the range a little bit to get both ends, right? But I also kind of agree with Edge that there isn't a lot to play right now, exclusive wise. You've got Knack, you've got.
Contrast, Resogun.
Those two are downloads, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm looking at like disc copies of stuff. Like,
oh,
what do we got? We have Knack. We've got
Killzone.
Killzone.
Yeah, see, this is the problem. All the other ones don't really interest me, so I never...
Yeah, but a lot of them are not proprietary either. Like, you got Call of Duty, Battlefield, Assassin's Creed, all those things,
I was
but
really
they're
excited
not...
for Drive Club, too, but that
That
never
got pushed.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs got pushed.
Such a disappointment.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's the big complaint about both Xbox One and PlayStation 4 is so many things I was looking forward to on launch day got pushed back.
So much,
Like,
right?
I had...
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs. I had that pre-ordered alongside my console, and then they're like,
You did?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's so depressing, isn't it?
Yes!
That was most of the reason why I
So
bought
you
the
also have the
console.
camera too, right? And
Yes.
you had to pay the extra $50-$60 for it?
Yeah.
And what game... Do you have a game that uses that or no?
There's no launch game besides the Playroom that uses it.
What?
There isn't.
There's no other games that use that thing?
Nope.
What? Sorry, I'm a little... What?
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
But you can
fine.
get a lot of features that the first generation Kinect was required for on your PlayStation 4 just by having a camera plugged into it.
Okay.
It does voice recognition. It does face recognition. It can do face logins. It can do controller position, all kinds of stuff like that, just with a simple camera.
Okay.
Proving that the Kinect isn't really that big of a deal,
Well, it uses Move technology, doesn't it?
Yeah.
PS Move technology?
which is some pretty simple technology.
Craig, you have anything to say about the PS4?
Yeah, and I haven't played it at all.
He's
I
still
haven't
stuck
even
in the
watched
7th
someone else
generation.
play it. I have no real interest in investing in the new generation of console at this stage, at all.
We're going to consider
Because
Craig
of the
our average
very
consumer.
limited games library, the very high cost of the PlayStation 4, but also especially the Xbox One, and like I said, it's just very limited game library. Most of what I want is on an older console, not one of the new ones.
All right, Xbox One.
Oh, you know I'm just bursting.
Yeah,
You know
look
it
like
too.
You're about
Because
to,
I didn't know what your opinion on this thing was. I didn't know that yours was sitting there collecting dust.
You're gonna suck its dick, aren't you?
What?
What?
What was that?
What was
I'm
that?
gonna beat you with that. Oh my dear. Anywho.
See, I thought I said, "Oh my dear," first.
No.
That's not something he would say.
Yeah,
I know,
Xbox
that's
One.
why I was
Bought it,
confused.
day one edition. Nice black box and a nice console. And it's all nice. And
The
since day
stupid
one on
word
my
on
console.
Plays
Oh.
records.
It plays records, has a big speaker on the top of it. Is made of vents.
It's
Lots
pretty.
and lots. Actually, it is made of vents.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really, really happy it's made of vents.
So it doesn't blow up
Exactly.
or catch fire like your old Xbox 360s used to.
I'll grant you
All
that
of
its
them.
massive size has a purpose.
And
Well,
I like it. I honestly don't care if my console's huge, as long as it works, and I'm not afraid that it's going to melt on me one day.
Oh yeah.
Though, seeing as neither of them have heat problems, yet the PlayStation 4...
PS4 has been having heat problems, but that's because of some nasty jerkwad mixing up putting lead in the thermal paste.
Yeah, but that was a manufacturing error, not a
That
form
was a,
factor
that was
error.
a sabotage. Anywho, Xbox One. I think it's honestly just as powerful as the PS3. A little bit less, but I think
PS4?
or PS4, sorry.
Technically, video capabilities with the Kinect plugged in it stands at about 2/3. Processor is identical.
But I think they can make up for it later using cloud capacity, which I'm really looking forward to when
And
they're
also-
able to use it properly.
When the developers have gotten all the tools smoothed out for both consoles, they will look almost exactly the same.
One thing I have to say is the thing about that argument about graphic capabilities. A lot of people will like to
the ghosts.
No. Here's the thing. Well, people are using that as the measuring stick, and
I
that's
don't-
fair. But here's the
I
thing.
don't think that's
No. Here's
There's chugs on the PS4.
yeah. There's chugs on the PS4. It's reportedly there's some lesser textures on Xbox One. I've seen both. They look about equal. But what I was gonna say was,
I saw it on 360 and I just wanted to vomit.
oh god.
By the way,
What I was going to say was, I'm gonna bring it back to the original Wii. Max is out at 480p. Super Mario Galaxy is goddamn one of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life, and it's just barely HD. You need a component cable to get 480p. Anyway, it's gorgeous. It's it breaks down that argument somewhat that kind of power is needed to make a beautiful looking
No, I'm not
game.
saying that it needs to make a beautiful game. I'm just saying the games that I've seen have been beautiful.
Yeah. So I was
anyway.
just gonna say the 720p versus 1080p argument is somewhat valid, but on the same case, it depends on who's making the game and how well they know the architecture of the system.
Okay. Anyway, back to architecture, actually, of the system specifically. I love it.
I know that some people aren't into the whole, well, I want a gaming console, so I need a gaming console, so that's why they go for the PS4. And I don't blame them. That's fine. But personally, the way I use my console, I love it. Because I can literally instantly switch from playing one game, like that, I'm watching TV. Like that, I'm in Netflix. And then I'm at home. And then back in the game. And I know it sounded like I didn't believe them at first when they were doing their tech demos, like, go home, do this, But it's actually pretty quick. Yes, the voice commands are still a little touchy, but that's the same with any...
Extremely touchy.
Yeah, but that's going to be like that because maybe
new.
they eventually it'll adapt to how you're talking.
Yeah, it's
But-
proven that with Old Kinect, it does eventually get more responsive over time.
Yeah, so the way... I haven't used it a lot lately, but when I have used it, it's had a little stutters like, did you mean to say this? I'm like, no, I meant this, but... Again, it happened with the Old Kinect too. It's a hiccup. It's not something I would put against it, but there's a little bit of a hiccup. But at the same time, give it some time. You know? Controller. I know a lot of people aren't happy with the controller. Well, not unhappy with it. More like, well, meh.
Disappointed, somewhat.
I like it, but I always liked the 360 controller. I always found that comparatively, I've loved the 360 controller over all the other controllers that I played, especially like an N64 with a third hand thing. Like, I never understood that completely. I
It
know
was
you
made for Vortigons.
see, that's the thing. But I always found it really, really comfortable. So I'm glad they didn't change a lot of it to the next generation because I would feel a little upset because I liked how the 360 controller felt to me. They only made some minor changes like those rumble motors and the triggers that I haven't had anything to use with yet. That's a lie. I had one game. I'll talk about that later. But there is one game that I have tried. But yeah, I think I like the controller personally. I'd have to rate it 1 and then PS4 2, but that's also a little bit biased because I'm more of an Xbox person over a DualShock. I've never really liked the DualShock as much, so that's a little bit biased there. Obviously, to each their own. Games. Let's get into the important stuff. There's a lot more. Honestly, comparatively to the PS4, I have, compared to like what Ornkal was telling me, I got more. I've got Rise. I've got Dead Rising. Zoo Tycoon, for example.
I've heard some negative stuff about Zoo Tycoon.
I've heard positive things about Zoo Tycoon, and I've seen it in action.
Okay, you've used it and
I've seen it in action.
Yeah.
I didn't use it. My significant one
Yeah.
did use it, so...
You bought it for them.
It worked for her, so it works for you.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but there's also, like, I'm only missing one, I think. I'm missing Forza.
Did you not buy Forza?
No, I think that's the only one I'm missing.
I don't really think you need to. From
I'm
what
not
I
really
hear-
a racing sim person. I would love it because it looks extremely pretty, but I would just, like, get a car and just stare at it for a little bit.
Funny thing is, you know me. You know me. I love racing games, but I've never played Forza or Gran Turismo. I'm more about the...
They're not racing games. They're
Racing
They're
simulators.
simulators. They're not...
Yeah.
That's my problem. They're not... If I want to feel like I'm in a real car, I'll go drive my car. See?
Well, this is getting nowhere fast.
If I want a fun racing game, I'll pick up Need for Speed. Or I'll...
Blur.
Oh, Blur's
Blur was really fun.
Blur's fun with other people.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about on your own.
Anyway, but okay, let's get into it. Rise has said some negative reviews. Well, more like average reviews.
Half-half.
Half-half. And I can see where they're coming from. I've played it. And yes, it's really, really repetitive. And, okay, the story is kind of obvious right from the get-go. Like, I got to this point, and I'm like, well, that's obvious. Anywho, I'd still give it about an 8.
It's about the same-
Even though it's repetitive, I'd still give it about an 8. Though it does also play like a tech demo. Because every now and then there's a loading screen. And during the loading screen, they just show you these vistas of, like, Rome or whatever setting you're playing in. And they're beautiful.
Cool.
They're utterly beautiful.
I believe you too. Your TV's amazing.
But it's Crisis, right? It's Crytek, so you know how Crytek works.
Yeah.
It just feels like a tech demo. Then I have Ghosts and Battlefield as well, and I technically haven't played Battlefield yet, but I'll get to that eventually. And Ghosts is fun.
Oh yeah.
It's fun-ish. It depends on the day.
From what I've heard, a lot of people are going back to Black Ops 2.
I don't blame them. I utterly don't blame them. Black Ops 2 felt a little bit more balanced than Ghost does. Well, no, that's a lie, actually. Ghost is way more balanced. How would you put it, Craig?
Ooh,
Because, like, the
Ghost
person...
is more cluttered.
The person with the assault
gameplay
rifle
mechanics,
has just as much, like...
Gameplay
pulls-
mechanics are very well oiled. They're very well balanced, which they should be by this point. They've had a lot of practice. And I like the size of the maps, but it's always weird going into a new Call of Duty game because the user base is smaller, which is always a problem when a Call of Duty game just comes out. Because it strains your connection more to be connecting with people further away. It also but again, the maps are also cluttered, so until you get really used to them, it becomes harder and harder to distinguish between a pile of rubble and corpses and a living person who is wearing rubble and corpse camouflage.
So you mean the camouflage is working?
Yeah, no, it's
less the camouflage and more that you are just
everything's
have
gray.
so much to distract you.
okay. It's all grays and browns,
So-
just like last generation, you know.
To me,
Grays
it
and
sounds
browns.
it sounds a little more so. So this sounds like it's the ultimate generic first-person shooter.
it's Call of Duty.
But that's the thing. Call of Duty can be amazing. I think Call of Duty 4 is
Look,
one of the most solid games I've ever played.
Let's not get into the Call of Duty talk because
yeah.
I will go right into it.
Yeah,
But-
that's your thing. In the same sense that I'll go into Guitar Hero.
Exactly, right? So that's another one of the games I have played. Again, I've seen Zoo Tycoon in action, and it's also a sim, right?
Yeah.
The gameplay is just like any Tycoon game.
Mm-hmm.
So you build a zoo, you take care of it. But that's not what I'm most impressed by. And, like, you actually are a little bit more limited this time because you're not building the pens themselves. They're just a thing, and you just plop it. I know. But
All right.
that's not what I'm most impressed by. I'm impressed by the amount of detail they put into the animals this time around. Like, we were sitting there watching my girlfriend play the game, right? And the elephant was over in the patch of dirt over there, took some dirt in its nose, put its trunk up, and spurted over itself. But that's something an elephant would do in real life.
Yeah.
And the way these animals move and act are damn near, like, realistic. And it's really, really impressive to me.
It sounds like you're describing Milo.
Well, it's a bit less creepy.
It's
when
a bit less creepy than
Is
that. But,
just because.
well, it's the same team that made Connectimals.
it really?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Oh,
It would probably be pretty weird if they put the same level of detail into like the baristas at the coffee places. That would actually.
That reminds me
be
of the picture that was being taken over and over again of the dude at the hamburger shack.
Yeah.
Anywho, but as like a sim and as it's emulating other creatures, it's really impressive. Last game I have is Dead Rising 3, and you are all there.
We
for
were
that.
all there. That seems like a blast.
And
I wish it were Resident Evil 6.5. Or actually, no, I wish that were Resident Evil 6. But, yeah.
And you saw it. It's fun. It's impressive as all hell.
Yes.
Right? Like, that many zombies on a screen.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. It's
And-
that at a consistent frame rate, Dead Rising 3 is a pretty good game.
And you see what I mean? Like,
It's like,
there you go.
I think that's the only game I can legitimately say, you know what? It seems like a next-gen game. At least in terms of between 1 and PS4.
It's next gen. It still feels a little 360-ish, but that's because it was originally designed to be on the 360.
Ish.
Ish.
But it runs way more
again,
smoothly.
Everything with a grain of salt. Rise was originally supposed to be on 360 as well, right?
Yeah.
Anywho, who would I recommend the console to? Just as I would last generation, I'd say a little bit older family. If you got like a 12, 14-year-old, go with the Xbox One. Yes, I know the Kinect is the extra $100 is for the Kinect, and it's not necessary. It's cool.
Or even wanted in many cases.
Yeah, I know, Craig. You have a problem with the thing looking at you. Okay, I get it. But I think it's kind of cool, personally.
I have a problem with it being a mandatory buy for something I don't want.
But you got to think about the thought process behind bundling it in. If it's there, then every developer knows it's there to be taken advantage of. Therefore, more people will make games for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like cross-platform games can't always count on something like that, but exclusives, every exclusive for the PlayStation or for the Xbox One should at least think about putting in Kinect functionality.
Even Dead Rising has Kinect functionality in it, albeit again a little finicky. But
Because it wants you to yell at the bad guys and doesn't understand then when you're yelling exactly what it wants you to.
Yeah.
It seemed to get better as we were playing it, though.
This is true.
Again, it'll
All
be
right.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Ornkal.
I very much dislike the name of the device.
Yeah.
Who the hell is on the Xbox
liked-
naming team?
I liked Infinity when I heard it. Like, that was the one I thought they were going to go with.
That was their code name for it, though.
Yeah, I know. That sucks. They never go with the code name.
Awesomeness.
Yeah, go ahead.
And other than that, it looks like a great game console. But when you look at it, it does not ever broadcast itself as a hardcore gamer console.
No,
because
it's
great. Its great selling feature is the fact that you can leave the game instantly whenever you want. You can just jump out of the
And
game.
again, that's why I understand why people would choose a PS4, because it's not... It's not really... It's more of a core gamer console.
But that's where I disagree with you. But we'll get to that. Orn, anything else to say?
Not really. It's just
All right.
I don't have much of an opinion on it other than it looks like PlayStation 4 Lite with a big, huge ass camera.
Come on, rip it apart. Come on.
I'm not gonna rip it apart
Come
as
on.
much
No,
as...
no, get
no,
out
no,
the wood
hang
shred-
on.
Get out the tree shredder.
Hang on.
No, we actually
I
need a
don't-
tree shredder.
I
Come
don't
on.
hate it that much. That much. I equally hate the PS4 and the Xbox One. But in terms of games, I've played more on the Xbox One. I say that in terms of exclusives, Xbox One is one out simply because of Dead Rising 3. But, because from
And
what...
there's Titanfall, and I'm really excited
That's
for that,
not
by the
out
way.
yet. That's not out yet.
It's in launch window. March is launch
It's
window.
in launch window, but it's not out yet.
But so is Drive Club.
Look, man, it's not out yet. We'll talk about it when it gets there. But, hey, I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong. Here's the thing. Controller, love it. It feels like they've tweaked the Xbox 360 controller. I would say perfection, but I have a feeling that maybe they could still do better. I don't know what that better would be, but as far as I can see, it's a great controller. I like the PS4 controller equally. It's apples and oranges to me. It's day and night. I like them both equally, but for different reasons. And the Wii U gamepad is in a league of its own.
I hate oranges. I love apples.
Well,
Apples and oranges is not a good side-by-side comparison.
Whatever.
Oranges and tangerines there.
I hate both of those.
This actually illustrates the apples and oranges metaphor really well, because you do hate them, but that's an opinion, not a factual statement that an apple is
going.
objectively better.
Thanks,
over
Craig.
this.
Yeah, that's because
Thank
Android's better.
you. Thank you.
You didn't hear that. Good.
The main
Android's better.
the main problem I have with Xbox One, well, maybe not the main problem.
Oh,
I have a
forgot
tendency to
something
say
I wanted
that.
mention.
The,
It's part of my hate rant too. So
When we were using it the first time, it seemed like it wasn't really performing as it should have. We were trying to launch Killer Instinct. I have the footage too. We were trying to launch Killer Instinct and it wouldn't. And for some reason we couldn't get it to work. Party chat had issues. Some of the functionality
that was day one, though.
Not
Well,
yeah
day
no
two.
that was day 2. Yeah,
But-
that was immediate launch window. And even just like a couple weeks ago, I saw a post from Major Nelson saying, "We know it's not quite working right. We're working on it." But at the very least, I can say that it works to some degree. It doesn't work like it should, but it still works to some degree. But the problem is that it doesn't work like it should. But and also there's the surround sound thing. They didn't spring for Dolby either. They say they're going to patch that, but until they do it, It's just
That's more of an argument between them
Paying
and Sony right now.
$500
Yeah.
for a product that will probably be finished in the future is
Yeah.
sort of a tough sell.
I have the same problem with the PS4, but
And again, that's
I'm
also
easier
like
on the
season passes,
Yeah.
buying DLC that may or may not even happen.
I'm easier on the PS4 because
yeah,
it's
I don't
cheaper.
Get DLCs or DLC season passes either, though.
Anyway, Xbox One just it doesn't feel like a
Finished product?
Not just that, but in terms of who it's for, I don't think it's for core gamers. I don't even think it's for hardcore gamers. I think
It would be
it's
for hardcore
hang on.
gamers.
I think it's for the casual market, but it's a different casual market than you're thinking of. I think it's for the casual market, the bros, the university.
Oh, don't.
No,
Don't.
I really think it
Oh.
is. It's
I know, because you're right, but
yeah,
They certainly
no,
marketed
it's-
it that way.
It's marketed towards the most casual
the
gamers.
Validaires.
Yeah, the Validaires. Yeah, those kinds of people who aren't. Well, actually,
You mean the
Validaires-
kind of people who want to snap hockey while playing Call of Duty?
Yeah, exactly. The kind of people that are more excited for like, dude, you see who made the playoffs? Yeah! Rather than like, oh, dude, check out my like.
I resent this a little bit.
I know you do, but you just said I have a bit of a point.
Yeah,
Like the kind of people who buy 1, 2, 3 games a year. Like
the Call of Duties,
Call-
the Battlefields, and the Assassin's Creeds.
yes,
That's it.
yeah. Well, I would
Actually,
argue.
Assassin's Creed could be variable.
I would argue
And the
either.
why.
I would say the FPS, the shooter, the wild card, or sorry, the FPS, the FPS, the racer, the wild card.
Yeah.
And the fact that they advertised all the TV functionality mainly instead of the games when it was announced, it just kind of hammers it in for me. That said,
Again,
as a
that's
game,
what I've been saying. It's not a pure gaming console, and that's what.
It's a universal device.
And that
It's
said,
a universal media center, actually.
Yeah, and I have no problems with that. Personally.
no, neither do I. But I'm just saying the way it's marketed, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing fewer of those gamers games. I'm trying to use the analogy, a man's man.
You need to
But
come
it's
up
not
with a
working.
different- Yeah, you need to come up with a different phrase for that.
Yeah. there isn't really one that works. But it feels less like a core console and more just like for the kind of people who are just playing video games because their friends are doing it. Or like,
No, that's right.
yeah.
That's exactly.
Or the
right.
kind of people who only like
I just
first-person
don't like the
shooters.
word bro.
Well,
The bros. I don't like that.
I don't know what else to call them. I don't want to insult them, in case they're listening, which they're not, unless you are, in which case, hi. But I don't know what else to say, because university students is a broad term, so I think bros
How about
applies.
Socialite?
Socialite.
But a lot of people can be socialites.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
Okay, for the people who are viewing gaming as a social activity rather than a competitive one.
Wow.
Or even as
Wow.
an entertainment activity.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Fine.
The bros.
Fine. The point is,
Da bros.
Well, it's
Craig, what do you have to say about the Xbox One? And I know you have an opinion on this one.
I think I said it. I don't really feel like paying $500 for a product that might be finished in the future. But again, I'm pretty much a holdout in terms of this entire console generation. It's just not happening for me.
And when did you get in on the 7th console generation?
Technically at the beginning.
Yeah.
Technically at the
I
beginning.
did get the Wii really early on. I disliked it and then sold it immediately. And then played with
The
my
look on Edge's
GameCube.
face when you said that.
My favorite console.
Yeah, and then several years later, I got Xbox Arcade used, because this time I wasn't really willing to invest in something new or expensive. Well, I mean, it was still expensive, but proportionally not as expensive. So yes, it is true that I am a little bit behind in terms of most technological things. But I also don't really have an interest in universal media device either. I don't really watch cable TV at all.
See, I do.
watch Netflix, but I can watch Netflix as easily on a PS3 or a laptop as
Or even
I
a
can,
Wii.
or a Wii.
You can get American Netflix on your computer. I don't think my console can do that. Can it do that for you? I don't think so.
I think Valadair has a way.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You have to
All
use
I
a
know is-
proxy.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
I
easy.
forgot about that. Oh, I just used media hint.
Or you could be in America. But
Fuck
we're
that.
not.
America.
I don't want to be in America. I don't really want to be
Anyways,
here either.
that's not really important.
But I don't really.
Irrelevant.
I don't know. There's not many exclusives out, but even if there were, even if every game is viewed as an exclusive for that generation of console, I don't really see anything that I want so badly that I'm going to buy a console just for it. Like, for the
You
Wii,
wouldn't go out and buy the console just to play Rise.
I bought. Okay, here's a good example. I bought a PlayStation 2 after I bought the third gener. After I bought an Xbox 360. I bought a PS2 after I bought an Xbox 360 because I like the Final Fantasy series so much that it was worth spending the money on. There's nothing at that stage with this console generation for me.
15's not doing it for you. No, it doesn't do it for me either. I don't like the design.
No.
That's not a fantasy game. That's real life. Fuck that. That's real life with dragons, and I don't need that.
Well, real life would be drastically improved.
It wouldn't look that boring.
Just to note, though, the PS4 also has some features that aren't working yet either.
Yo, no, I know that. Sorry.
They're a little bit less significant in some cases. Like, it actually has surround sound working.
I remember what I was going to say before.
What were you going to say?
Well, they own DTS.
This is true.
Wait, what? No, I didn't know this. You're bullshitting me. Microsoft owns DTS.
No. I said Sony.
Oh, Sony owns DTS. Okay. I was going to say, like, wait. They have no reason not to have Dolby in that case. No, but Sony has DTS. Well, then, yeah, all right, whatever.
I think, right? Isn't that right?
I'm pretty sure. I know they have Blu-ray.
Somebody fact check me that and comment on this video, please. But here's another thing.
No, it's cool.
In the Xbox One,
Can be edited.
that they didn't go with their original plan.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh yeah, here you go. Come on.
See, I'd have a lot more hate in store if they'd gone with that plan.
Only because actually, there's a feature that I'm the most disappointed for, and it is the the family plan. And I thought that was the most brilliant thing ever.
It was a good idea.
And Steam has reappropriated it, that's where that idea belongs, on a service that already functions as such, and people don't mind that it functions as such.
Now, see, Steam, when it was first announced, though, got pretty much the same receptions that the Xbox One
Exactly,
DRM got.
and that's what I think that's stupid.
Yeah,
Personally, I'm more of a disc person,
Mhm.
but I don't see what the problem is.
I'm perfectly happy to have a good balance of both. I have a game collection that spans both physical and digital, because, man, cartridges, they're expensive, dude. And they take up a lot of space.
Depends on the cartridge.
Well, consider that I'm collecting the Mario series. Some of those cartridges are A, hard to find, B, well, more so for Donkey Kong, A, hard to find, B, balls expensive.
Yeah, but what about, Sonic for the Sega Genesis?
Again, just going with a digital version for that. Anyway, the thing about Steam is it
It's
came
established
through.
now?
No, not that. It
It's
came through.
established,
They
yeah.
came through on their promise of
Okay.
cheap games, but I honestly don't believe Microsoft would follow through with that.
I don't think they have the means to right now.
That's the
And
thing.
if you've seen the digital copies of anything right now, they're the exact same
yeah,
price.
same price, and
That's because they can't do just digital.
I know.
But
It's,
And
you
that's
guys-
why. There's no incentive for people to buy digital because people don't want to buy digital because there's no cloud. There's none of that
And a
thing
fun
to
fact
make it.
about the digital copies. The digital copies are also equally priced regionally, so in places where they are much more expensive, the digital copies of them are much more expensive too, preventing people
Australia.
from... Australia is definitely a prime example. Preventing people from buying a digital copy in order to save money. It is literally cheaper for a lot of them to buy a physical copy somewhere else and have it shipped there from a different country.
Yep.
And that is messed up. Just especially for a digital device who has no excuse, like it's not being charged with taxes.
Such bullshit.
So
Wow.
there's no reason for the price
No,
to be
but
more
again,
than in, say, North America.
It's because there's no incentive to buy digital so they can't change the price. If they change the price, then there's incentive, but it's like a cyclic logic there, right?
Yeah.
But they can't change the price because no one's going to buy it
You know
because
what?
there's discs.
Here's what I would have believed. If Origin had followed through, I would have believed that Microsoft could. But,
Origin's EA.
yeah, I know.
Origin technically has followed through.
It has followed through. Just
Wow,
no one
really?
here is
It took them a
using
while, but
Yeah.
last time I checked the
takes
store, they
time.
had some good
All right.
stuff for good prices.
You know what? All right. Maybe it wouldn't have been that bad if EA could pull
No
it
one
off.
in North America will touch EA because, as far as most,
And
North
they're
Americans
really,
are
really
concerned,
trying now.
EA
They're
It's
trying now.
hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Anyway, well, thank you for joining us for this. I guess the consensus is you got to form your own opinion because,
Our opinions suck.
yeah, well, go with your gut, I
Our
guess.
opinions are buy the Wii U,
Honestly,
or
though,
buy
if you're on the
Xbox
fence
One,
about-
or buy the PS4, or don't buy anything.
Actually, if
you're
I was
on
going to
the
recommend a
fence-
game console,
PS3.
no, if I was going to recommend a game console, I'd tell people to go buy an Xbox 360. I bought one today. All right,
I would
the
have said
Xbox 360 currently is probably the second best game console in a long time. The best being the PlayStation 2, but that's getting a bit old.
if I were going to recommend a console in general, I would have
Sadly,
said
game consoles don't age like.
if you're a core gamer, I would have said PS3. But if you have a soul, I'd tell you to get the Wii.
No, see, the problem, I wouldn't recommend the Wii, because you know what? Everybody already has a Wii.
They don't use it properly.
And they're dirt cheap.
Yep.
Yeah, I bought my Wii, special edition red one, came with a Wii Motion Plus red remote. It was like $40.
Yep.
You have a Wii Mini too?
No, I have the red regular Wii.
the red. Okay, no.
The Mario Wii.
Thanks for putting that back together.
But, yeah. Buy a Wii.
Buy a Wii
Buy
or a
a
PS3
360.
or a 360.
Wait.
Go with your gut.
But here, let me get my final word in here, though.
Oh.
If you're on the fence about a PS4 or an Xbox One right now,
Or Wii U.
and that, well, not so much them. I'm more looking at the consoles that just came out, and you are looking at one, and are in a store looking at it, and you have the money for it. Go for it. Honestly,
Yeah.
it will get better. Just think of it that way.
I'm going to tell you to wait 6 months to a year to get a PS4 or Xbox One. If you're looking at a Wii U, get that Wii U, man. Because it's pretty good now. It's going to get even better in the next 6 months.
If I was presented with all three next-gen consoles and said pick one and pick any game, I'd probably pick a Wii U because there's more games to choose from.
I'd say, fuck that. I'm going back to my PlayStation 2.
I meant all three of the new ones.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, guys. And please enjoy the content provided. And we hope you stick with us. You stick with us. You stick with us. You stick with us. You stick